Hey, James Sapirstein, I believe, is now with us. He's Chairman, President, CEO. James, sorry for the delay there. Nice to see you, man. How are you? Give us the latest.
Yeah, so we took a name. Entero really means gut, or it means it's much more gastroenterology focused. So the drug we acquired is called latiglutenase. It's an enzyme that's used to help the symptoms of celiac disease. Now, those who don't know what celiac disease is, it's basically people who cannot tolerate gluten. I'm sure if you folks go to the supermarket, you have gluten-free aisles with, different foods and breads without gluten. But people who have celiac disease cannot ingest anything with wheat, rye, or barley. So they have to have special diets. Right now, that's the only thing that's available for celiac disease is a gluten-free diet. We intend to be the first drug available to treat celiac disease.
And this is something that obviously was not in the news 20 years ago, but has come into the news in the general population. So it's kind of top of mind for many people, in that there are people that have just decided to, through an elimination diet, go gluten-free. And what's interesting to me is that, like you say, there are people that are actual celiac disease sufferers that actually have real consequences. So it's not just a function of lifestyle change. This is a function of they have to do this, James, or their quality of life suffers significantly. Talk about the drug and what it does.
So the drug is really a combination of two enzymes, and it basically, for lack of a better word, obliterates gluten. You take it, it's like if you remember the old pixie sticks, you put these two enzymes together with flavoring, which is either peach or mango, into a glass of water, and you drink that glass of water with your meals. And it should not, safety-wise, we have great safety data. We're ready to go into phase 3, which is an important thing, which is why we acquired it, because it's the most furthest along of all the drugs for celiac disease in development. But you take it, and basically you shouldn't experience any problems from any gluten poisoning that you might have.
Wow.
James,
you can eat anything.
This is a game changer, though, because we're talking about an addressable market in the billions here worldwide.
Mm-hmm. Right.
This is not just a U.S. problem, correct, James? This is an international issue, which makes you guys sort of in a better position you've ever been in terms of addressable market.
100%. So what's exciting that I can talk about, because I did put this out publicly, is we do have a term sheet from a large pharma company to either co-develop this or license U.S. and North American rights. So we're talking to other companies now about European rights. But you're right, it's actually larger in Western Europe than it is in the United States in terms of sheer population. But it's also in Japan and other parts of Asia, like South Korea, where you have a Western diet in one way or another, you seem to have this disease. Latin America has a lot of celiac disease as well. And we know 40% of the population is just undiagnosed. They don't know they have it. They think they have something else. There's no diagnostic test for celiac disease. It's really an endoscopy.
Really?
It's an invasive procedure to figure out what's wrong.
Hey, James, since we're talking about global, let's talk about global biopharma. You serve on the board of BIO, which resolves a lot of things, including policy issues and how they affect the life sciences market. It's interesting. Your industry suffered greatly in 2022, 2023, and of course, the word came out of the JP Morgan conference at the beginning of the year that things are going to be better. Capital markets opened up for biotech in about the second quarter of this year, and things seem to be looking up. Right now, there seems to be headwinds in all the markets, but what is the outlook now for biopharma and biotech, in your opinion, based upon you serving on BIO?
Yeah, so what we were battling with BIO, quite frankly, is this Biosecure Act, like trying to keep manufacturing out of China. I'm sure you probably saw about that in the news. And that really affected the market, believe it or not. Just that discussion, even though the law isn't being passed right now, because 70% of all the raw ingredients are supplied from China. So what it did, yeah, the markets had some headwinds. I would say you and I probably last spoke about this in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Things have slowed down in the second quarter. A lot of the venture capital companies, they've made their investments. It's pencils down. They're not putting much money into companies right now. Hopefully it starts back up in September. But yeah, there's some concerns with supply, right? That's really what it comes down to. and the longer it takes to get supplies, your patent life shrinks. So the NPVs, as we call net present values of these forecasts, aren't quite the same. So we're still working all those things out, and bio is at the forefront of trying to lobby Congress to make sure that we don't upset the supply chain.
Right.
For
and a supply chain, frankly, that just came out of COVID. I mean, let's face it. We issued supply chain problems just because we had a global crisis that you were so generous and kind of walking us through on television at the time. I have to say, I hope this is cyclical because some of the companies that we interview, like yours, I would hate to have a supply chain issue, hold up important research that you guys are doing. And I think if I'm not mistaken, this is why the term sheet that you put a release out on is so important to either co-develop or take the next step through. You're better together than trying to do it on your own these days because of the headwinds with the government and everything else. So I think you guys are heading in the right direction, correct?
No, that's correct. And I can tell you our manufacturing, we moved everything to Italy. I spent last month a couple of weeks in Italy with my manufacturing guy switching everything over. So we're trying to stay ahead of what the Congress might do, which is restrict supply from China. So we're in Europe. The bad part about that, quite frankly, it makes things a little bit more expensive. So that's another issue.
James, we'll see you next week. I want to have you back on a regular basis again. James Sapirstein, Entero Therapeutics, ENTO is their stock symbol, ENTO on the NASDAQ. Go to their website, enterothera.com.